Hello, welcome to this. Um, I saw Slanted Spines on BookTube do a video of them putting their favorite books in a brackets thing, and then you pick a favorite between two favorites, and then pick your favorite between those two favorites again and again until you have a winner, and that's really fun. So I want to do it again also because I already did a stats and favorites video, and I did have like a speculation of what I thought was my favorite of all the favorites, but I honestly want to see if that's still holding up if I do this, because it might not be, but I think it might be. Honestly, I feel so strongly about that book, it probably will win, so but we'll see. It's very it's fun. It's gonna be very self-indulgent. So yeah. Also, I'm so sparkly, I'm so glittery, I'm so purple sparkle. It's giving me glimmer from Shira, and I love it so much. I had 15 5-star reads, but I also added a few 4.75 stars, because honestly that counts, that's almost perfect. And I think they deserve to be like in the favorites because I just love those books as well. I just think about them all the time. Okay, so I'll just try to insert pictures of the cover as I mention the books, because that would be nice for you, I think. The first two, oh, also I should mention that I do include rereads in my wrap up overall. Like, I feel like I did spend that time reading, and even though I have read it before, I think it counts. So I also just added those rereads to this, even though maybe that would not be considered correct to some people, but I just feel like I love those books. I read them again for a reason, so they deserve to compete in the thingy. The first one is The Island at the End of Everything, which is a reread against The Confessions of Franny Langton. I just put these in the order that I saw them on the story graph, not in a particular order. So it's going to be very interesting to see which books are going against each other. And between these, I have to choose The Confessions of Franny Langton, because it's just, I love it. It's just really... I'm going to have to pause this because my parents are home and they probably want attention, so... Hi, it's Christmas. Merry Chrysler. Look at the state of my room. I mean, I'll take a step back so you can really take in. Yeah. Yes. That is, so sexy, am I right? The next two books are Memorial and Such a Fun Age. This is a bit of a tough one because they're very different, but I'm gonna go with Memorial because probably because it surprised me so much and I wasn't expecting to feel so much and for it to have such an impact on me. So I'm gonna go with that because I really think about those poems a lot. Because I cried so hard. I cried. It was intense. So I'm gonna put that. City of Ghosts versus King of Scars. This is really just so easy. Cause King of Scars, obviously. Next ones are The Fifth Season versus My Dark Vanessa. the 5th season has got to win that series. I mean, it occupies my mind at all times. Next one is Six of Crows versus On a Sunbeam. Obviously, Six of Crows is a reread, and I'm very biased towards it. So, I maybe shouldn't have included rereads after all. But too late. I'm just gonna pick On a Sunbeam because that just so deserves this. The Stone Sky, which is the sequel to the 5th season, versus Wade in the Water, which is not a poetry collection. I'm going to choose Wade in the Water not just because I objectively liked it better, but also because I already wrote the 5th season down, and I feel like it's a bit odd to have two from the same series in like the competition. So I'm gonna go with Wade in the Water. Also because, goddamn, you know? If you haven't read it, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Rule of Wolves versus Late to the Party. This hurts. It hurts because I love Rule of Wolves so much. But Late to the Party changed me as a person. I mean, it hits so close. I related to the main character so much, and I just felt so comforted by this book that it understood me, and that it was like, it's okay that you're a mess and you haven't got your act together, it's okay. And honestly, just so wholesome, so good. Like, I think that Late to the Party should be put on the same tier as Alice Oseman books for how good they write about teenagers for teenagers. Like, it captures everything and all the inner turmoil so well. I think this book does it just as well as Radio Silence and all the other Oseman books. I think it's severely underrated. Like, I know it's been a bit around on Bookstagram. I think, like, I saw some people talk about her other books, but honestly, people be sleeping on this one. It's so good. I made a whole ass dedicated playlist to it. I mean, it's just comfort. It's just feelings, emotions. It's great. I love it. But then again, I mean, Rule of Wolves! But I did just say that I wouldn't put books from the same series in the thingy. I already put King of Scars. And objectively, I liked King of Scars better than Rule of Wolves. I mean, I just think it's better. I mean, I cried a lot during Rule of Wolves and hyperfixated so hard on it. So it's a bit difficult to say how much of that was like just me being obsessed and how much of it was actually the book being genuinely good, if that makes sense. But I'm just honestly, I would have to reread both of these back to back just to be entirely sure. I'm gonna put Late to the Party. Oh, this is so hard. Not sure I'm making the right decision. Next one is really shit. I mean, because let me explain. It's In Her Feminine Sign versus Flesh. Both incredible, brilliant poetry collections. And it's really just not fair that Flesh is against In Her Feminine Sign, because In Her Feminine Sign has got to win. It's the best motherfucking shit I've ever read. I'm not exaggerating. That's my favorite poetry collection ever. But Flesh was so good. I don't want you to think that I wasn't, because I'm picking In Her Feminine Sign. It's just like a little bit unfair to Flesh, because Flesh is just Freshwater versus How to Be Both. Why did I say it so weirdly? Freshwater, damn, goddamn. I mean, people have been telling me that I had to pick up Quickie and Mazzy books, and I had that on my TBR for a really long time, and then I added all of their other books to my TBR as well, because people just kept recommending all that shit to me, and I was like, damn, I need to know. This looks so good, like, it really, like, spoke to me as well. I finally read Freshwater, and it was a favorite of the month, and honestly a favorite of all time, probably. It's just amazing. It's how to be both poetic. I mean, poetry. It isn't actual poetry, but the way that Ali Smith writes feels like poetry. It reads like poetry. It hurts like poetry. It's just so good. She's so talented. I love her shit. I love her whole deal. I will gobble up everything that she writes. But this is really hard. I mean, so many quotes from How to Be Both resonated, and I needed to like remember because it's so beautiful. It's so well done. The concept, I'm just completely in love with how unique it is, but how well executed it is. I read reviews of people were like, that's not it, and I didn't feel it, and I don't think it was well done. But I disagree disrespectfully because it's fucking amazing. I think I love these books equally for different reasons. But when it comes to which one I would reread more, or rather than the other one, it would be How to Be Both. Okay, last one. Deep Light and the Key of Souls. Key of Souls is the sequel to Cradle of All Worlds or something. Yeah, it's a Jane Doe series. So far, only 2 books. But the author did say that he was gonna write more, which is very exciting. Because I am in genuine love with this series. It's so good. It's so beautiful. It's so wholesome. It's so adventurous. It's so magical. I love the characters so much. It's a middle grade fantasy series, and it's just ticking all my boxes. So I mean, I am inclined to choose the Key of All Souls, but let me talk about Deep Light, because Deep Light, coincidentally, is also a middle grade. It's a standalone fantasy, which has these godlike, creepy, dangerous, huge, gigantic, kraken-inspired underwater creatures with these strange powers, and it's this whole lore, this whole mystical energy about the book that's just so good. The worlds and the world building of it is the strength of it. Like, it's so good. However, I do have to say that in Deep Light there's this part towards the end of the book where there's a bit of like info dumping monologue type thing going on, which I'm not a fan of. If I'm taking that into consideration, Key of All Souls has to be round 2. Ping ping ping. The Confessions of Franny Langton versus Memorial. Oh my god, it's got to be the Confessions of Franny Langton. King of Scars versus the 5th season. Look, you don't have to do this to me. I mean, I did this to myself though. On a Sunbeam versus Wade in the Water. God damn. On a Sunbeam. How to Be Both versus Key of All Souls. How to Be Both. Okay, The Confessions of Fanny Langton versus On a Sunbeam. The Confessions has got a win. The 5th season versus In Her Feminine Sign. In Her Feminine Sign. But then I also have How to Be Both. I can't put this against anything. I did this completely wrong. I'm going to put How to Be Both against Her Feminine Side, and then Her Feminine Side wins once again. So it's the finale. Okay. Our finalists are The Confessions of Franny Langton by Sarah Collins and In Her Feminine Side by Dunya Mikhail. So different. Please stick with me for a few more minutes. Or 1 minute, just 1 minute. Okay, please. Okay. Anyway. I'm going to say that the winner has to be The Confessions of Franny Langton by Sarah Collins. Did I see this coming? Yes, my prediction was correct. I was right. This is the favorite of every favorite of the year. And I'm not mad about it. I read it from the library and I really want to own it and reread it because it's so phenomenal. It's so phenomenal. Please read it. So that concludes this little experiment. Bye.